Rich Rising, what's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for overtime grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I got the MPC One out. You know, we already dragging and dropping samples. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you watch this video to the end so you can see the final product. You know, we work in real time. Right now what I have is a drum kit, and then I am chopping a sample into 4 pieces and putting it on the top of the drum kit. What I'm doing now is I'm turning off the time stretch. You know, I don't do no warping. You know, I don't warp my samples at all. I know a lot of people do. I know that's looked down upon on this YouTube side of things, but I don't really deal with the warp. What I'm doing now is I'm turning it from note on, where we hold the pad, and I'm turning it on to play it in one shot. You know, this is in program edit, one of the most important screens ever. If you check, I have a video that talks about it. So now I have those samples on the same drum program as my kick, snare, and all of my sounds. So what I'm going to do now, that allows me to be able to really get some things done in one program, you know what I mean, and be able to utilize the program edit. So right now I'm tapping in the tempo. This is how you bypass the warp. You could just tap the tempo along with the beat, and once you get it close enough, you should be able to just hit the sample and loop it up. I don't normally do loops, but for this I'm going to show you how to utilize a loop and then turn it, make some drums, and then kind of build off of that. So make sure you check out the masterclass. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me on all social media at 365 O.T.G. Hit that subscribe button, man. Check out the masterclass. It's only $7. You know, if you want to upgrade, you could get it for $35. But if you need basics and hours of videos to see somebody walk you through it in real time, not just break down this button, that button, and mental overload, but you could just see over and over and over and over again the process, check out my master classes. They're a little bit different. And that's about that. You know, I got some expansions and all that stuff over there. Cool. We got that out the way. 365 O.T.G, all social media. All right, so now what I'm doing is I am utilizing program edit as a way, so you can see this kit had the hi-hats set on mute group 1, so you could play them in real time, real human type feel. But I have my samples on mute group 1, so when I hit my pad, it would turn the samples off. If you ever have that problem, just go to program edit to your global screen, and then you could go from there and fix it. You know, something else that you could do is when you're playing your hi-hats, hold your note repeat and shift the resolution on the screen. I like to hold my button. You don't have to. If you hit the note repeat button 2 times, you can latch it and it'll just stay up on the screen. I am an old school MPC user, so I like to just hold my button. Now I'm gonna hit the sample 2 screen, and from there I'm going to edit the tune, the pitch. I'm gonna hit the volumes and everything from here. You know, if you're trying to scroll over, the yellow box around the Q-Link knobs tells you which ones are selected. I do most of my gain staging and my volume from the program edit screen. If you guys watch the live too, you know, I put it on my swipe out menu. I feel like that's one of the most important buttons on the MPC and one of the most important screens on the MPC. So right now, you know, while I have this time and we just playing in and building the drum loop, and you notice I'm doing it track by track. This is my way. I could do it all on pad 1, but then when I explode it, it's just going to mute pad 1. When I go to my track mute screen, if I was wanting to do multiple sequences, that would put me in a place where either I would have to use trap mute groups, which I don't want to do. So I like to leave all of my trap mutes in most of my tracks. I like to get my beat done in about 16 tracks. That's the way that I look at it, just for the housekeeping of beat making. Sometimes I make over 16 tracks, but rarely, including the drums, the hi-hats, everything. That's O.T.G tip. And that's why I don't use Explode, because I like to have that extra track open in case I am pushing the limit. There really is no right or wrong way on how you sample. You know, you could watch a million YouTube videos and you could live and die trying to do it the way that I do it. And you may never get it because the type of music that you make might not be at this pitch, might not be at this speed, it might not be the type of samples that I utilize. You know, the way that you set your drums up might be a little different. You know, the style of music that I make is a style of music that I've been making for a very long time. With a slower BPM, I like my samples chopped a certain kind of way. And so the way that I chop them and the way that I work them is how I do it. What I'm showing you and allowing you to see, you know, I was just messing with it on my loop station, which is off screen. What I like to show you is a way to, I'm gonna copy this over to sequence 3. So now I could go and make some edits to the sample and do some other things. I'm going to erase it, my track 1, keep my drums, go back over here. The sample's still playing because I never set an endpoint because I knew I was going to come back and edit it. So right now, that's pretty much what you hear. It's about to play out. But what I try to show you is different ways and different methods of things you might try in the methodology of how you make beats. So now we're going to hit the program edit. We're going to go over to our pitch and we're going to play with the pitch of our sample. We're going to turn it down. We're going to play around with it some more. You know, let's go to our actual screen. If you notice, my start point is my top length moves my start point. So I chopped 4 samples, put them on the top 4 pads, but they're really long. You can see they're like maybe 20 seconds a piece. So if I was to save this drum kit, I could use it again later. So now you can see I'm using the start and I'm just kind of scrubbing through, manually looking for something that I think is dope. If you see my red box, it's controlling, it's where my rotor, my push knob encoder is. So on this screen, you can sneak out and have 2 different knobs. Your top Q-Link knob to handle your start or end or wherever that yellow box is selected. And then you could touch the red box and use that with your rotary knob. Just in case you didn't know that, that's something to help you out, a little tippy tip. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, follow me on all social media. Check out the master classes. Check out my personal sound bank, which is a bunch of machine sounds and a bunch of different sounds, 15 gigabytes of sounds. I didn't make these sounds. These are the sounds that I have on my MPC One, my Live 2, my Force. It's my personal sound bank of sounds that I never really update. I've had a lot of these for years, so if you got a skinny MPC, check them out. Alright, so now that I already have my drums together, all I got to do now is just come back and play the sample on top of it. And what I want to do now is I want to get it at 4 bars, and then what I could do is double my sequence out and make my sequence 8 bars and add variations. So right now, you know, we can go to tune. I'm going to add the 808. One of the things I wanted to talk about quickly is about mixing as you go. sometimes when you got the vibes, that's what I call it. Like right now, I got the vibes. So we just speeding through. I'll go back. If I'm not doing basic volume mixing, I'll make almost the entire beat in one pass, and I'll pretty much leave all of the volumes where they're at. And then once I get to a point where I like the beat, then I'll go back and start to do mixing and different things of that nature. So, you know, that might be an efficiency workflow technique, might help you out. So what I'm going to do now is split my 808 on 2 tracks. So if I wanted to, I could turn off the high notes and just have the low notes play, or I could have them both play at the same time sometimes. So right now we're going to go to another track. We're going to do that. And you can see, you know, this is how you could build a loop. Build off of a loop, find some inspiration, and then kind of mold it into your own beat. And you don't have to deal with time stretching and those weird artifacts. You know, at the end of the day, if you want to be a time stretch master, then you need to be a tap tempo master. If you become a tap tempo master and you're able to find the beat and anything that you're sampling, for the most part, you could set the BPM to what you're sampling. And then if you want to pitch it up and down, you'll get a more realistic sound. Now, if you want to time stretch, you could chop it at the BPM and then time stretch the parts you need. So if you're trying to fill in any gaps, but that's a little bit more advanced. I just wanted to show you, you know, how to work and build off of a loop that you may have. You know, that's just a track lib loop that I have. Whenever I use track lib, I kind of worry that somebody else has the same loops that I have. So because of that, I like to try to warp them and chop them in weird ways, or do different things that you could still hear it, because, you know, I paid for the clearance, but at the same time, I don't want to sound like anybody else's. So, you know, hopefully this helps you find some tips and some value in what we're doing. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. That's really important to the channel. If you want more consistent videos, at least like it, dislike it, put some fire emojis if you listen this far, show some engagement, and, you know, I'll get back on an everyday schedule, give you something to look forward to. So now that we have this going, you know, I'm not going to make the entire beat. I'll save that for a video later this week, you know, but hopefully you guys get the gist of it, you know, that you can mold and make something pretty dope out of just looping up something. You find the loop, you tap the tempo, you build drums around it, you make another, you copy the sequence, you either mute your first track that has your loop on it, or you just erase that track, period. Now you could chop down those drums, you could do something, you could chop down your sample, you could do some different things, and from there you could build on top of the drums that you already have. So, you know, nobody else is putting you on with these tips. They might be cool sitting in front of the camera telling you all this stuff, making fun of each other, calling people's beats trash and dissing people and saying who's professional and who's not. But over here, we're showing you the work. And that's something that you'll definitely be able to use for the rest of your time utilizing the MPC or the SP or whatever it is that you use. So inshallah, you found some value. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out the masterclass for the MPC, hours and hours of video. And there's one for the SP404 too. So guess what? It's your brother. Another tutorial done. Akai MPC One. Sample chopping and tips.